Okay, so this is the latest upgrade from luxurylandroverupgrades.com. The first order on any of the items from this kit here will get this t-shirt. It's just for the first order. I'll get a free t-shirt. The range consists of a number of different articles, and they're all relating to the battery. So we'll go through them in turn. There will be a post which includes everything listed here as one giant kit, but you can order the parts individually if you wish. So this is called the Cooper range, and we've got the Cooper cable for the battery, a Cooper extension cable, a Cooper charger, and a Cooper jump pack. The reason why I've called it Cooper is just because anything in the Cooper range will interconnect with each other and will be compatible. So anything with the Cooper name, all the products will work with one another. So what we're going to do is we're going to install it and explain how it's useful. I've got one installed in the back of my car, but I'm going to show you how to install it in the front, which is how the majority of the people are going to want to install it. So the main part of this kit is this cable here, the Cooper battery cable. The whole idea of this kit is that it allows you to charge the battery externally with all the doors being locked. So if you park up your Range Rover for a while, you can use a secondary battery kit, but you can opt as well to use this Cooper battery kit range, and this charges your main battery, so your main battery will always be charged. The benefit of all of this will mean that you can keep your battery charged in adverse weather conditions, and you can maintain your vehicle safety by allowing your car to be locked, all the doors locked, the boot closed, the bonnet closed, all whilst having the car battery being charged. So that's the benefit of having this kit installed. It's super convenient. It's just a plug-in and play ordeal, like most of the products on luxurylandroverupgrades.com. They're all plug and play, because I like to try to make it as simple for people as possible, for them to get the maximal results out of it. I do have a number of upgrades coming out soon, but I've been inundated with work, and it's been problematic me trying to get a lot of these upgrades launched and released. So these are a number of upgrades that I'm launching all at once, and then later on in the month or next month there'll be a number of upgrades coming out as well, for an unconnected but related part of the Range Rover. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to have a 19mm socket, and we'll go over to the other Range Rover. I'm not going to install it. I'm just going to cut the video to where I think is the best place for it to be installed. You don't need to see me turning and tightening bolts. So essentially we've got two bolts here. We've got one here which usually has a cap over it. This is the positive post, and then we've got the negative post here. Both of these have 19mm sockets on them, and now obviously turning them anti-clockwise will undo them. You take these fully off, these nuts fully off, and then okay, the Cooper cable has a negative side and a positive side. That's indicated intuitively as black being negative and red being positive. And then we just put these nuts back over and tighten them down. Do the same with that side and tighten it down. Then that brings us over to the business end of the cable, making sure that it's not tangled up. We'll just untangle this really quickly. Okay, now it's untangled. All we need to do is, if we see our negative post there and our positive post there, our battery is in the back here. We don't need to touch that, but we can see our power steering fluid here. If you look directly down, you can actually start to see a bit of light come through, and that's the floor there. And that's what we want to try to be aiming for. So we're just going to lower this down until we get it on the floor. And it just takes a bit of finessing, and then I'll cut back on the video once we have done that, and I'll install that positive post as well. Okay, so now that's installed, I just did a quick job of it. Tighten down, make sure that they're not going anywhere, nice and tight. You can route the cables however you wish. Like I said, I just did a quick job here, put cable ties and everything down. The kit is actually supplied, by the way, it just goes down here. Pull on the cable so you can see. It just goes down into that little space down there. Where you can see the light come out. It just goes down onto the floor. The kit comes with 2 cable ties of different versions. One has a sort of like barb on one end. I'll show you where that goes in a second. And one is a reusable cable tie. I've just put this cable tie in there for good measure, just in case you find a different place that you want to mount the charging port. I've just added that in there because it's useful to have. So if you look back here, there's like a hole where my finger is. I hope that's coming up on camera. And that's exactly where you put this barbed cable tie. All you do is you push it in there really firm, and then it won't come out. I'm pulling on that now and it won't come out. And then you just put that around the charge port, and that's where your charge port is going to get left, making sure that the wires aren't touching any of your suspension or steering components. Like I say, you can put the charge port anywhere that you wish, and there are some areas underneath the side steps where you can put it, or you can mount it just behind the grill. It's completely up to you where you want to put the charge port. The charge port has a cover that comes with it, but just lay that down. You can just plug that over the top, and then whilst you're driving, it's completely protected against the elements. So it's just down to you where you want to place that charging port. Now it's a solid connection all the way through to the battery, and that's really useful. These are really thick cables, really durable cables, and it's really useful for the next product. So we've installed that Cooper cable once it's fastened underneath with that cable tie. So we'll move on to the actual charger. So this charger will charge any type of battery, so whether it's flooded or AGM battery or lithium-ion battery that you have installed in your car, this will charge it. So the idea will be, obviously now it's an overcast day, but whilst it's dry, we can bring out an extension lead, undo this dust cap. Let's see if I can do this. Undo this dust cap, plug it in, and then that's the connection made. You can see that we've got 12.3 volts connected. It's not plugged in, it's just reading it from the connection that's made there, because it's connected to the battery up at the top. So we would just have an extension reel coming out to this location where we can just plug it in, leave the charger underneath the car, and let it charge. But that brings me to the next product, which makes life a little bit easier, and that's the Cooper extension cable. This is 25 meters long, and it's able to supply the current of the charging current of up to 45 amps. The benefit of this cable is that instead of plugging the charger in here directly, instead we plug the extension in instead, and then it gives us 25 meters of length. And it brings us back to a connection that we can use inside the house. So we would connect now this Cooper charger up, as you can see we get our voltage read in there, so it's a solid connection. But now we've got 25 meters, and that will go into the house. The benefit of doing it this way, obviously that will be zip tied up and put out the way. I'm just going to mention actually that if you can see here, there are two holes, and you can actually put screws through those holes, which is the reason why I've actually not cable tied it back there, because I'm actually going to mount it further up front here for my Range Rover. I'm going to mount it further up front here, put two screws through the bumper, sorry. That's going to make it a lot easier for me to access. So that's the reason why I haven't zip tied it back there, because it's going to be more secure and easily accessible up here. But people may not want to drill into their Range Rovers. I don't mind. I'm just going to put two screws through those holes that you can see there, and then just drill into this plastic, and it will hold it there securely. And then when I'm driving, make sure that cap is securely on, and it will be protected against any of dirt and debris and snow and water and everything. Anyway, once that extension cable is connected, it will give us 25 meters to go into the house, whereby we can run that Cooper extension cable into the house, making sure that the charger itself is out of the elements. It's going to keep this safe, and it means that through an entire year you can keep your Range Rover you can keep it charged up, trickle charged. This will trickle charge, by the way. Once it's reached capacity, it's perfectly fine to leave it connected. It will trickle charge the battery, and whenever it comes time that you want to start your vehicle, you can just unplug the connector and then start your vehicle, and it's going to maintain that 100% charge by the time you come to start the vehicle. So that's the benefit of this kit, the Cooper charge kit. So there's one other product that I need to mention, and that's this Cooper jump pack. You can see these are all compatible connectors. The benefit of this jump pack is, you know, it saves you from needing the AA or RAC to come out in the event of a no start condition due to low battery. So if you have driven your car out in the middle of nowhere and you've left your lights on, and you don't have a secondary battery kit installed, because obviously this would completely ameliorate that situation, but let's say you were in a position where you didn't have any of the upgrades from Luxury Land Rover upgrades.com installed, then this would be your last resort. And it's also just a good thing to have in your car anyway, irrespective of whether your battery is high or low, because it's a multifunctional emergency device. So this is a jump pack, so it will actually jump a Range Rover, any Land Rover, even if the main battery is completely flat. This little device would jump start the car entirely. So even though it's very, very small, it packs a massive punch. So very well designed for the application. It will jump start your car in the event that you have a dead battery, but it doesn't stop there. It's a multifunctional tool. So on the side here, if you press it once, it will give you an indication of how much charge is left inside of the jump pack. I haven't charged this jump pack since I've received it, and it's maintained for LEDs, which is full charge, so which means that it's what's called quiescent or sleep voltage. Current, is very, very minimal, if not anything, and so you can just charge it once when you receive it, and forget about it. Just leave it in your glove box. It has a USB port here. It comes with a white cable that branches out into 3 different types of common charging adapters. One's USB-C, which is one that my phone uses. One's micro USB, and then the other one's Lightning for Apple. Obviously, if your charger isn't listed like seen here, then you would add in your own USB charger, and put that in the glove box with it. But then all you'd need to do is plug that into your phone, and you can keep your phone charged, and it will charge your phone multiple times. There's a lot of power in this device. In the event of an emergency, calling up the AA or calling up people that you need to come to rescue you, you can make sure that your phone doesn't die. On top of that, its main function is its jump starting capability. So you just plug that into this port here. I should incidentally say, if you hold this button here, you've also got a light, and it is very bright. Obviously it's daytime, so you can't really see it, but it is a Cree LED, so it is very, very bright. And you just hold it to turn it off. So you'd just connect this up, you'd make your way over to the car. I'm running low on battery, so I'm going to wind this up really quickly. Connect it up. You don't need to press any buttons on the battery pack, and then you start your vehicle, and it will jump start your car if you have low battery. Okay, so that is it for the Cooper range. You can buy the cable by itself, the Cooper cable by itself, you can buy the charger by itself, you can buy the extension by itself, you can buy the jump pack by itself, or you can buy it all as a kit. The first person to purchase any one of the items will be sent this t-shirt free of charge. So that's all that I really needed to bring your attention to, is that new products range has been launched, the Cooper Charge Kit. You can install it in the back of your car. Obviously you would need to be able to gain access to the boot if you do that, whereas installing it in the front, you can keep all your windows and doors and bonnet and everything locked. That's the benefit of using that kit. All you need is a 19mm socket to install it, and away you go. So head to www.luxurylandroverupgrades.com and purchase their kit, and enjoy.